Hello friends, Mr. Jordy here today, and we are going to be solving a word problem using the partial sums or the partial difference method. So I'm going to use this RDW times 2 strategy so that I can take my word problem and I can kind of decode it so that I know what they're asking me to do. So the very first thing I need to do is I need to look at my word problem and I'm going to read it. Rose saw 29 butterflies at the park. Julie saw 61 ants at the same park. How many butterflies and ants did the two girls see in all? So I've read this. I'm now going to text code it for understanding. Text coding is something that we do that really just highlights the important parts of that word problem that we need to be able to solve it. They put a lot of words in here, filler words that really we don't need to be able to solve the problem. So being able to narrow it down to what's really important really helps us make sense of the problem. So I'm going to look first for the things that I know. Things that I know. Well, one thing that I know in that first sentence, it says that Rose saw 29 butterflies. So I'm going to underline it and I'm going to put a K above it and I'm going to say, that's something I know. That's a statement. They're not asking me to figure anything out. They're just telling me that. Another thing that they're telling me in sentence 2 is that this other person named Julie saw 61 ants. So I'm going to put a K above that. So if you notice, I've taken out a lot of words. 29 butterflies, 61 ants. That's all I'm really focused on here. Is there anything else that I know? No, there's nothing else that they're telling me here. Now they're asking me something, and the asking is what I want to know. What are they asking me? How many butterflies and ants did the two girls see in all? So I'm going to underline how many in all. And that is my W. That is what I want to know. So now I am going to do this D part, which is determine and draw. So the determine is I've got to determine, are they asking me to add or to subtract? So when I look at this, I need to be able to think to myself, are they asking me to add or subtract in this problem? Well, in this problem, I believe that they're asking me to add. Why do I feel like they're asking me to add? Because when I look at this wording and it says how many in all, that is asking me to put together the butterflies and ants. That means that they're asking me to group it, to find out how many there are in both groups and put them together. And whenever you combine or group things, you're adding. So I'm going to use I'm going to determine that I need to add to solve this problem. Now, my drawing, I said we were going to use partial sums today, and we are. So partial sums is what we call this strategy of adding numbers together. So I'm going to put this up over here because we don't really need that anymore. And I'm going to now stop my drawing. So I'm going to use partial sums. So I'm going to put my numbers in. 29 butterflies plus 61 ants equals, and that's our mystery right there. So the first step in using partial sums to solve this is that I need to break apart these numbers into their place values. So there are 2 place values in each of these numbers, so I'm only going to be breaking them up into 2s. So I'm going to break them apart. In 29, we have 2 tens. Another way to say 2 tens is 20. And in 9, we have 9. In 61, we have 6 tens. Another way to say that is 60. And we have 1 1, which is 1. So now that I've broken those apart, I am going to now combine the place values that are alike. So I'm going to take my 1s and I'm going to swoop them together, connect them together, and 9 plus 1 equals 10. So I'm going to get a 10 from putting all the 1s in those 2 numbers together, and then I'm going to put the 10s together, and 20 plus 60 equals 80. So I'm going to put those together. I'm going to get 80. And now that I've put both of my 10s together from both numbers and both of my 1s together from both numbers, I'm going to put them both together. And 80 plus 10 equals 90. And I'm going to say that this problem is going to be solved with a total of 90 ants and butterflies together. And that is how I solve it using partial sums. My next step is that I'm going to write a number sentence. Well, I already wrote a number sentence here. Right here is the number sentence. When I put this here, when I put the sum here, it completed my number sentence. This representation is a horizontal number sentence. If I wanted to, I could have drawn it this way in a vertical form. Either one is fine. And then I'm going to write my statement. My statement is my words. It's answering this question, this word problem, in words. So I'm going to write that Rose and Julie saw 90 insects all together. Period. And that is how we fully answer a word problem. And that is using the partial sums method of adding.